Finally, the state of emergency relaxed for Guinea grass, but so much sadness in San Felipe as the second member of the Wickham family was buried within days. You'll hear from Teresita Cruz's son. Also, a woman claims a contractor ripped her off and never finished her house. We'll have both sides of that story. Plus, Belize's GDP has a record contraction in the second quarter. We'll tell you how low it went. Also, Belican production plummeted during the shutdown, down by 350,000 gallons. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Wednesday, August 26th, 2020. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indira Kern.
Now is the time to sign up for the best postpaid plans in the country because Digi has doubled the data in all their plans. Now you can get even more done, connect even more, stream even more, create even more, and share even more. All on the fastest mobile network that gives you the most coverage nationwide. Now is the time to go postpaid with plans starting as low as $49 monthly. Shared plans are also available, all with unlimited talk and text. So don't wait. Hurry over to your nearest Digi store to sign up today. Enjoy double the data in all postpaid plans only with Digi.
Grandpa, I want crystal water, please. Can I please get one crystal water, please?
Okay, dear.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It pleases your heart, knowing she will grow up drinking the brand you have always trusted. It gives you peace of mind. Crystal water. Taste you can trust.
I remember the days when trucks used to line up at the Guatemala border, and we could have only watch as they come in loaded with LPG and then left with Belizean dollars. Things changed since, because the Belizeans they drive now, that we have the jobs, and are definitely proud to be able to keep me dollars home. Either Elvis Roaches and either one of the Belizean drivers for the National Gas Company. I haul butane from the new state-of-the-art terminal to the port of Big Creek. The hard work, but at the end of the day, I go home to my family and provide for them. Thanks to NGC, I do my part to build my country. We the all Belizeans on this team, And we're proud to work hard to deliver one product will last longer and give you more value for money. I proud to work at NGC, and for you we Belizean people.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited, fueling Belize forward.
Now is the time to sign up for the best postpaid plans in the country because Digi has doubled the data in all their plans. Now you can get even more done, connect even more, stream even more, create even more, and share even more. All on the fastest mobile network that gives you the most coverage nationwide. Now is the time to go postpaid with plans starting as low as $49 monthly. Shared plans are also available, all with unlimited talk and text. So don't wait. Hurry over to your nearest Digi store to sign up today. Enjoy double the data in all postpaid plans only with Digi.
I'm Chef Sean Quillen, and I got a nice surprise for you today.
Take your cooking skills to a whole new level with Glazed Out, TNC's first ever cooking show with culinary expert Chef Sean Quillen. Tune in every week for exciting Belizean cuisine and some of Belize's biggest names in culinary art and culture, and watch as they create unique and delicious meals that will surely excite your taste buds. Glazed Out in the kitchen with Chef Sean.
Belizean food, how another level. Premiering only on TNC 10.
You saw them protesting on successive days last week, demanding an end to the lockdown. And as of 12:01 a.m. this morning, Guinea Grass villages are free, as well as their neighbors in Shipyard and Santa Marta. That's thanks to Statutory Instrument 122 of 2020, crafted because the Ministry of Health is sufficiently convinced that the community spread of COVID-19, which was identified in those Orange Walk villages at the start of August, has now subsided. So now those three villages are no longer under special lockdown, and they fall under the state of emergency regulations which prevail across the country. That means villagers can now freely travel in and out of their villages while observing the curfew, face mask and social distancing regulations, along with all other SOE provisions. But there is one community that remains under complete lockdown, and that's San Pedro. No one can travel in or out of that community except with special permission, and it will likely remain that way for at least a little while more, since new COVID cases continue to appear in the island town. And this SI 122 also puts into law stiffer, swifter penalties for extortion by cops. Under the SI, any member of the security forces found to be extorting an individual under the guise of their office is liable to 1 year imprisonment. Also, SI 122 makes it an offense to bribe or offer anything of value to a member of the security forces or any public officer to avoid prosecution. These offenses carry a minimum sentence of 1 year imprisonment. We might want to call this one the Diego Doctrine. After all, the Compol pushed for it to become the law after an American man complained that a constable, Reginald Diego, shook him down for $300 because he drove up to the checkpoint without a mask. The police officer was criminally charged for extortion yesterday, but under the old law, which is an indictable offense that has to be tried in the Supreme Court, a long and winding process. But now, with this amended state of emergency SI, future complaints will be covered by the tough new law. And the troubles for Constable Diego aren't over yet. Information suggests that after he got bail on the extortion charge, today he was detained in connection with another investigation, this one for theft. Police are investigating a complaint that he allegedly went into a store and helped himself with some beers. We stress it is only in the investigation stage. On Monday, we told you about the death of Natalio Wicab, the San Felipe resident whose death caused the closure of Caribbean chicken outlets countrywide. And later that night, the Wicab family was shocked by another death, this time of Natalia's sister, Teresita Telly Cruz, who also succumbed to complications caused by COVID-19. Cruz, who had experienced fever and shortness of breath a week before her death, had seemed to recover, but then on Monday evening she complained of shortness of breath and extreme fatigue. She was rushed to the Northern Regional Hospital but died on her way. She was posthumously tested for COVID-19, which has now been confirmed. She was buried this evening in front of a limited number of family members, including her son Elton, who spoke to CTV3 via phone about her last days.
We thought it was normal, no? But Wednesday in the morning, they let us know. My little sister, she told us what's going on, no? Wednesday in the morning, when I received the call, I told her, please check mommy's pressure, no? Because normally she suffers that. She carried her to a doctor in San Felipe, where the doctor told her that her pressure is too high. So they give her treatment for bringing down her pressure, no? Controlling her pressure. So, like I said, my mom, she was feeling better. She didn't have any cough after that. But weakness she had. The weakness she had. She asked us to buy the Pedialyte, you know, the swell, and we sent it too, so she will feel better. When this happened, even on, like I told you before, I talk to her every 3 to 4 hours. I call my mom daily, and I ask her how she's going on, and she told me, Ellen, I'm feeling very good. I'm feeling okay. The only thing is that I sleep a lot. And I don't know why, but I feel only like I want to sleep. She feels weak. Until what happened with our uncle, no? In the evening, more in the afternoon, she was in the hammock. She was resting there. When she wanted to calm down, then she doesn't have enough strength to come up there, no? Then my father tried to assist her, and the neighbors tried to assist her too. My brothers too. So from there, her pressure, I think she had to have again the respiratory problem again. So this time was short of her breath again. Very, very hard. So they called my brother right away so he could pick it up and carry her to the hospital because she was asking, now you carry me please to the hospital. I feel bad. So we tried to, my brother tried to move fast. But while going to the hospital, my brother was telling us that she was already starting to get unconscious. She don't talk anymore. She's not moving. So when he reached at the hospital, just as he reached, they told her that Mom already passed away.
Cruz also said that his mom video called his 10-year-old son that morning, and even though her shortness of breath, sung him happy birthday. The latest COVID numbers mark her death as the 11th. They also show 760 confirmed cases, with 695 active cases. A total of 266 samples were processed today, and 13 new cases were identified. They are as follows: 8 in Orange Walk, namely 2 in the town, 2 in San Felipe, 2 in August Pine Ridge, 1 in San Pablo, and 1 in San Jose. The Cayo district also had 2, 1 in Belmopan and 1 in San Ignacio. Stan Creek had 2 more, both of them in Independence. The Belize district had 18 more, 11 of those in San Pedro, 4 in Kikoka, 2 in Belize City, and 1 in Ladyville. We'll take a first break now, and when we come back, a woman has a dispute with a contractor. She says he took 15 grand from her, did not deliver. She got the court to agree. You'll hear both sides. Don't go away.
We experience many changes in life, especially when it comes to style and technology.
So why not change the way we build? With Coventech building panels from Venice, we can do just that.
The construction capabilities of this panel is very unique compared to the traditional way of construction. The panel offers acoustic and thermal properties and can be installed within 50% of the time that a conventional construction would have been installed. The building is lighter but yet more durable.
Other fake building panels on the market can't compare to Coventech's engineered high-tension wire mesh frame, which will make your home stronger and highly resistant to impacts and weather conditions such as earthquakes and hurricanes.
So whether for your homes, stairways, fences, or big building projects, let's change the way we build. Make sure to use the Coventech brand building panels available only
at Benny's.
Benny's in 60 seconds.
Price Premier Products Limited has been proudly serving Belize for many years. We aim to serve you better and are pleased to announce our new office with convenient parking at number 1728 Chatamal Street, Belize City. Here, you will find our Price Smart outlet opening on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Be impressed with the variety of quality branded products such as Pampers, Always, Tide and Downy, Del Monte, DAC, Vigo and Alessi, Duracell, Crystal Farm Cheese, Linda Powdered Milk, Great Lakes Pork Tails, Ground Coffee. We distribute many of the world's top and finest brands to supermarkets and stores nationwide. For authentic brands and quality products, visit us today. Price Premier Products Limited, importer and distributor of fine quality products.
Bellykin got your back.
What you mean?
Brother, when you buy a 6-pack of Bellykin beer, Bellykin Stout or Bellykin Light, you could enter for winning a Bellykin's weekly drawings.
What are the prizes?
Over 10,000 in a weekly prizes, including Bellykin beer, Bellykin bar tabs, and cash. With your purchase on a 6-pack, scan the QR code or visit bellykin.com/win to enter your unique 6-pack ID. But make sure you keep your 6-pack cartons for proof of purchase.
Why? Bellykin really got the back with the purchase at every 6-pack.
Bellykin, the beer of Belize.
Contraband is the illegal importation of goods such as alcohol, tobacco, foods, and parts. Apart from breaking the law, smugglers are also now endangering the health of all Belizeans. They risk bringing coronavirus into Belize with their contraband. To keep COVID-19 out of Belize, everyone entering the country is screened and quarantined. But contraband smugglers are not using legal entry points and are bypassing all safety measures. And these same smugglers are moving among the population. They could be carrying the virus. By coming into the country illegally, they could cause outbreaks of COVID-19. Buying or smuggling contraband is putting yourself, your family, and the entire country at risk. Report smuggling. For SMART, call 0800-JUMPERS or 0800-BORDERS. For Digi, 0800-SAVE-BZE. This message is brought to you by the Belize Police Department and the Belize Bank. Now is the time to sign up for the best postpaid plans in the country because Digi has doubled the data in all their plans. Now you can get even more done. connect even more, stream even more, create even more, and share even more. All on the fastest mobile network that gives you the most coverage nationwide. Now is the time to go postpaid with plans starting as low as $49 monthly. Shared plans are also available, all with unlimited talk and text. So don't wait. Hurry over to your nearest Digi store to sign up today. Enjoy double the data in all postpaid plans only with Digi.
El contrabando es importar ilegalmente productos como el alcohol, tabaco, comida y objetos. Aparte de romper la ley, los contrabandistas están poniendo ahora en riesgo la salud de los beliceños. Ellos arriesgan traer coronavirus a Belice por medio de sus contrabandos. Para mantener el COVID-19 fuera de Belice, todos los que entren al país son examinados y encuarentenados. Sin embargo, los contrabandistas no utilizan los puntos de entrada legal y se saltan todas las medidas de seguridad. Estos mismos traficantes se están moviendo entre la población. Ellos podrían tener el virus. Al entrar ilícitamente al país, esto puede provocar un brote de COVID-19. Comprar o traficar contrabando te pone a ti, a tu familia y a todo tu país en riesgo. Para números de Smart, llama al 0800-586-7377, 0800-267-3377 y para Digi 0800-728-3293 para reportar cualquier actividad de contrabando. Este mensaje es presentado por el Departamento de Policía de Belice y el Banco de Belice.
Last week, we brought you the horrific story of the woman who was slashed to the throat after refusing to lend money to a man she knew. She was in critical condition at a private hospital for 1 week, but died on Monday morning. And tonight, two men, Santos Eduardo Zepeda and Angel Adolfo Garcia Alvarez, have been jointly arrested and charged with a murder. Another man, Raymond Brown, has also been arrested for the burglary and handling of stolen goods from Chinchia's apartment. Yesterday, we told you how painter and patriot Alex Sanka saved his neighborhood Tamales man from a brutal beatdown. It's a story that got national attention after Sanka's Facebook Live, which featured a passionate and obscenity-laced recap of the attack. This morning, social media super cop Chester Williams invited Sanka to his office and commended him for his act of bravery. A quote from the composed Facebook post says, quote, "We are proud of you for defending the helpless who could not have defended himself. As we told you, police have detained 2 persons pending charges." Last night, we told you about the suspect detained for the shooting and robbery of a taxi man on the Bullet Tree Road in Cayo. Well, tonight, Cayo police have moved quickly to charge 20-year-old Brian Navid Guzman of Hillview area in Santa Elena town. He was today taken to court and arraigned for a list of offenses, namely dangerous harm, use of deadly means of harm, 2 counts of aggravated assault, attempted robbery, and possession of firearm without a license. He has been remanded. The taxi man was grazed by 3 shots as he wrestled to take control of the gun. Boots Crescent resident Jacqueline Banks is incensed at Carlos Alvarado Jimenez, the contractor who she says swindled her out of thousands of dollars meant for the construction of her home. Her ire only increased when a committal warrant put out for his arrest was allowed to slide. Banks says she's been wronged, first by a shady contractor and then by the courts. But as always, there are two sides to every story. And so this morning, Charisse Halsal heard from all parties concerned.
The story of this house is a complicated one, with twists and turns straight out of any aspiring homeowner's nightmares. And those troubles started in the construction phase, when owner Jackie Banks claims that her contractor, Carlos Alvarado Jimenez, misappropriated the monies he had been given for its construction.
Okay, in mid-October of 2015, we got into a contract with one Mr. Carlos Alvarado to build this house behind us. Everything started off good. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. It was at the last phase we had problem. We gave him some money in February, something over $17,000+ to complete the house. After he received the money in two payments, the 5th of February and the 8th of February of 2016. When he received the money, he said, Miss Jackie, no worries, so your house was done for Easter, which would have been in April that year. Well, that never did happen. So when I came to the house and I started to see things going differently, I asked the workman that was here, what's happening? And they said, well, the man said he don't have no more money. I got in contact with Mr. Alvarado and I called him and I asked him, what is the problem? Well, his explanation to me was, his response to me was at that time, well, you could do your one, Mr. Jackie, because I work for police officers, magistrate, judges, lawyer and thing. That was like some sort of intimidation to me. So I said, okay, then what I have to do.
What she did was send a summons for him to go to court to answer for $15,000 in November of 2018. And in August of 2019, she won that case, and the judge ordered him to pay back $1,000 a month. But he never paid, and she took out a committal warrant to have him sent to jail. But when he got back before the magistrate, it was another story.
You know, I know there is certain circumstances where I do think the court make allowance, but I don't know how this one warrants that. The magistrate told me that the gentleman had just gotten a surgery because he's a diabetic, and he had just gotten a surgery where one of his toes, or a couple of his toes, was taken off. But this man is working. I saw him myself, he's working, he's still working. I think an injustice was done to me from the hearing started. It was as if though it was scripted, right? At one point I asked the magistrate, I said, can I say something here? I said, because it appears as if though this gentleman brought me to court, not the other way around, right? And she said, why do I say that? I said, well, I need to ask you something. Do you know this gentleman? And she said, no. But while I was in the court, it felt as if though it was scripted, everything just in his favor.
But Alvarado says he didn't steal from Banks, and that while he didn't have the time or the money to fight the case in court, he managed to make a deal to suspend that committal warrant.
I never want to fight in the court because Jackie, I know Jackie long time. She used to work for me. And he started to tell me that he wanted a house and he wanted a nice house. And I said, well, Jackie, well, I could do it for you. So we agreed to one price and it never worked out. He said, we can't get the money. So I tell him, well, I'll still not do it. We agreed to $80,000 for build the house. So we started to build the house, but what happened that Jackie started to, Jackie personally never did approach me, but the husband approached me, but they live together. They live in the same house together as a husband and wife. The husband approached me and told me that he want adds more to the house, like add the height of the house, the height of the windows, more electrical, and things like that. And when the bill come, he made over $10,000 which she may add already. So when she give me the last payment, I tell her, Jackie, I can't finish the building. Honestly, I don't think I thief. I did work for 40 years at Belize. And I never have, yes, we have problems with people, but we talk and fix. But with this one, no, nothing gonna fix it. But what happened that the COVID come in, and then my foot get hurt, and then I have to amputate one too because I'm diabetic. And they amputate me too, so I work for about 5 months right now.
And while Alvarado has managed to avoid jail with a payment plan, banks, will have to receive the money owed to her at a glacial pace, a reality that she says has put her family in dire financial straits.
Well, we still haven't recovered, truthfully. We still haven't recovered. My husband had to get an additional loan to complete the house. We moved into the house in 28th of January 2017. And when we got the additional financing from the institution, we had to pay an additional money towards that loan. And meanwhile, while the house wasn't finished, we had to pay that loan and pay rent at the same time and mortgage. I don't know what happened to the judicial system. I really don't know. It seems so unfair. It seems so unbalanced. I mean to say, this is your last resort for seeking justice. So where else do you go if the court cannot assist you? Where else do we go? You know, and then you see a lot of people don't take these cases to court, you know, because of it's too time consuming. Everything you have to fight for. Now everybody have a COVID-19 excuse, even the court, you know, right?
Cherise Halsall, 7 News.
Response to Banks' claim that Alvarado tried to intimidate her by claiming to work for policemen, magistrates and lawyers, a statement that was also brought up in court. Alvarado responded by saying that he did not recall making that specific statement. As mentioned, Alvarado has made 2 payments of $200 and an additional payment of $100 towards his arrears. Turning now to the economy, the Statistical Institute of Belize today released the figures for the second quarter of 2020. That's April 1st to June 30th, 3 months, which was spent mostly under lockdown. And the figures reflect that Belize's GDP took a historic nosedive, contracting by 23% in that second quarter. Here's more from the SIB's quarterly press conference, which was held virtually today via Zoom.
For the second quarter months of April to June 2020, Belize produced goods and services totaling $558.6 million. This represents a decrease of $169.9 million, or 23.3%, when compared to the second quarter of 2019.
Would you say the main reason for the sharp decline in the GDP was the total shutdown of the services sector? Virtually total shutdown?
Yes, agreed. The decrease was mainly due to the impact of COVID-19 with the restrictions and like you mentioned, the shutdown that occurred. But for example, like the primary sector, we did notice that the drought contributed to the decline in that sector.
While Belize's GDP contracted by 23% in the second quarter, for comparison, Barbados was down 27% in that same period, while Mexico was down 20% and the USA was down 32%. And it wasn't only COVID slowing down the economy, drought conditions also affected agricultural output. And there were trade issues where cattle could no longer be exported to Guatemala, causing a huge downturn in that sector as well. Here's an overview of the various contractions in housing, agriculture, and forestry.
Within the primary sector, agriculture, hunting, and forestry contracted by 10.5%, or $8.1 million, totaling $68.9 million. The fishing industry declined by almost half, as marine exports dropped by $1.8 million. In terms of agriculture, sugarcane production declined as dry weather conditions in 2019 and early 2020 affected crops harvested during this second quarter period. In the case of banana production, more favorable weather conditions resulted in improved plant health and development. This, coupled with an increase in acreage, contributed to a 12.1% increase in banana output. Dry weather conditions affected citrus fruit crops, which were slow to mature this year, resulting in an extended harvesting period. Subsequently, citrus fruit deliveries increased by 1.3%, cattle production declined by 68.9%, poultry production by 29.4%, and pig production fell 16% during the quarter. Going through each variety individually, We observed that with borders closed, a significant decline in cattle exports resulted in a 68.9% drop in cattle production, from 7,800 heads produced in Q2 of 2019 to 2,400 heads produced in 2020. A decrease in demand resulted in a 24.9% drop in poultry production during the second quarter.
And in the secondary sector, which covers manufacturing, electricity and water and construction, production at the Belikin factory was way down. That has to do with the cancellation of tourist arrivals and the shutdown of bars. Here's more on the decline in beverage production in the second quarter.
Within the manufacturing and mining industry, beverage production suffered immensely from the lack of tourist visitors to the country, the closure of restaurants and bars, and the restrictions placed on alcohol production due to COVID-19. Production declined by a significant 31.1%. Beer production dropped 46.6%, and soft drink production also declined by 7.7% during the period. A total of 401.2 thousands of gallons of beer was produced in 2020, down 350.1 thousands of gallons, or 46.6% from 2019.
We know that in terms of beer, they had a lot of difficulties due to COVID. They could not produce alcohol due to restrictions that were placed during COVID-19. So they did experience a decline due to that. Also, in terms of local consumption, restaurants were closed, bars were closed, so they could not sell beer. People weren't buying anything because even if you're going to the store, there's a restriction of number of persons that were allowed in stores. So a lot of restrictions were placed. So we did see a significant decrease in beer production.
And looking now at imports and exports, the widespread economic slowdown in the second quarter also led to a sharp decline in imports for the first 6 months of 2020. Imports were also way down, and the only thing that went up is cooking oil.
For the period January to July of 2020, Belize's imports were valued at $912.8 million. This was a notable decrease of 19.3%, or almost $219 million when compared to January to July of 2019. This drop, in effect, highlights the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, as weakened demand for merchandise goods prompted decreased imports across almost all commodity categories over the period. With a fall-off in imported quantities of diesel, regular, kerosene, and bunker C fuels, coupled with lower world market prices for fuel, the mineral fuels and lubricants category saw the largest decline, falling by 41%, or $74.7 million to $106.3 million.
The last time we had a drop in imports was in 2016 and 2017, and that was like a 4 to 5% drop. This is a 19.3% drop, and I'm talking about within that same period. So that gives you a real understanding of the impact of this decline.
Here are the areas that had the sharpest downturn, including the free zone and food imports, again with that cooking oil exception.
Goods destined for the commercial free zones fell by $50.9 million to $132.6 million. This was a 28% drop due to decreased imports across a number of items, including clothing and bags. Food imports dropped by 3%, as the food and live animals category declined by $3.8 million to $130.8 million, as the country imported less wheat, malt, and a variety of grocery items over the 7-month period. Interestingly, however, in contrast to all the aforementioned decreases, the country did import larger quantities of cooking oils, as the oils and fats category saw the only notable increase, rising by 23%, or $2.6 million to $14.2 million.
And of course, during that worldwide shutdown, exports also declined across many sectors, including petroleum exportation, where not a single barrel of oil has been exported. Here's more.
For the period January to July of 2020, Belize's domestic exports were valued at $220.4 million. This was a decrease of 13.1%, or $33.3 million when compared to exports of January to July of 2019. While this overall downturn was the result of decreased revenues for a few of our major exports, one cannot discount the role world market prices played in this outcome. Earnings from crude petroleum plunged by $12.9 million after having had no shipments of this commodity since the start of the year. Despite the decline in total export earnings, some commodities fared well over the period. Revenues from bananas went up by 4%, or $1.7 million to $49 million. The largest increase, however, came from red kidney beans, with revenues from this product rising by nearly $3 million to $10.2 million.
For the SIB, capturing the statistical anomalies of this time is an eye-opener. The record 23% downturn in GDP is an aberration, and we asked about that.
What is it like for you all to see these large statistical aberrations?
We are, though, seeing, as you said, unfold in almost real time in the data that we produce and publish, how serious this crisis is for the country. And I think it brings into very sharp focus the fact that information is very much needed, how important the work that the SIB does. This is not a time for us to, whatever challenges we might have in terms of collecting information, it's not a time for us to slip up. Now more than ever, the statistics that we produce are needed. They're needed to know how badly off this crisis is affecting us.
And we take a break now. When we come back, you'll hear the PUP's plan for health. Don't go away.
Meals are better at home with Coca-Cola. Collect 2 golden caps of Coca-Cola, Fanta, or Sprite 1.5 liter with the word WIN, and 1 golden cap with the word microwave, or 1 with the word Oster, and you can win a microwave oven or Oster pots and pans. You'll also receive a free kitchen utensil with all 1.5 liter twin pack purchases. You can collect all 4 utensils. Visit www.coca-cola.com.
Now is the time to sign up for the best postpaid plans in the country, because Digi has doubled the data in all their plans. Now you can get even more done, connect even more, stream even more, create even more, and share even more. All on the fastest mobile network that gives you the most coverage nationwide. Now is the time to go postpaid with plans starting as low as $49 monthly. Shared plans are also available, all with unlimited talk and text. So don't wait. Hurry over to your nearest Digi store to sign up today. Enjoy double the data in all postpaid plans only with Digi.
Though I'm missing you.
2 weeks ago, we brought you a detailed snapshot of the PUP's education reform plan. The first chapter of its plan, Belize, basically their manifesto for the upcoming election. Well, today they returned with the second chapter of that plan, which they call Plan Belize Healthcare. But since it is currently illegal to host gatherings of more than 10 people under the state of emergency regulations, they officially unveiled their plans via a teleconference event, which was carried live on their Facebook page. 7 News was tuned in for their presentation, and Daniel Ortiz reports.
Like other manifesto promises voters have heard before, this PUP healthcare reform plan includes attractive concepts like universal health coverage for all Belizeans. They propose a massive expansion of the National Health Insurance Program.
We present to you today our solution for fixing this broken health system. The next PUP government commits to provide universal primary health care, affordable and free at the point of delivery. Our goal is for the complete rollout of NHI is for every Belizean man, woman and child.
In this health policy, primary care for the community base is going to be strengthened, but also our health services will be restructured and modern technology will be implemented as to improve the efficiency and also the quality of health care. There's no doubt that with this health policy, the accessibility to healthcare, the affordability, but the quality of healthcare is going to improve.
A PUP government will work to develop an integrated national health system for Belize, where the main goal is universal health coverage for everyone. Because we are committed to excellence in clinical and primary health care, we will work with our partners who engage in health services to rebuild a health system that can be measurable by the outputs and outcomes for whom it is supposed to serve. By 2025, Belize aims to achieve universal health coverage. That by 2025, Belize will have quality essential healthcare services. Before 2025, Belizeans will have access to safe, effective, quality and affordable essential medicines and vaccines for everyone.
This PUP Healthcare Plan Belize is serious stuff, especially as we work with the reality of the COVID crisis. It places the NHI as the backbone of our system and people at the center of the benefits. This blue plan will bring down the high prices of medication. I believe all residents of Caribbean shores should get a yearly basic health checkup. A real and urgent NHI rollout can make a huge impact for our healthcare needs. An amazing feature about the PUP health plan is for mobile clinics, where healthcare would come to the homes of our most vulnerable. I will advocate strongly for mental health programs and services across Belize.
They are also appealing to frontline workers. The healthcare professionals would have to partner with this theoretical PUP government in rolling out these proposed healthcare improvements.
Why is this investment in human capital such a high priority for PUP? It's rather simple. The People's United Party is about empowerment of the healthcare workforce. We empower practitioners by providing training, but also inclusivity in the concept of shared governance and decision making. So each category of health professional can rest assured that their voices and concerns will be heard.
The PUP's health plan also focuses on improving healthcare access in rural communities.
The People's United Party appreciates and understands the need for a concentrated focus on our rural communities when it pertains to community health care. It is important that primary health care be addressed at the base. It is important that our villages get access to clinics. It is important that our community health workers are there, they're properly equipped, and they are properly financed so that they can be there to address the issues. How will this help our national health policy? Well, it relieves the stress that is being presently put on the regional hospitals. Because if you can take care of your foundation, if you can take care of the needs of the people in their respective villages, then there will be less need for them to be transferred, for example, in the Cayo district to the Western Regional Hospital, or in the Toledo district to the Southern Regional Hospital.
And who or what will pay for all that?
Now I know you will be told by the dissenters that this is unaffordable. That is not true. From the data available, we find over $40 million being bad spent, due mostly to waste and corruption. So we can find ways to better use what is already allocated. And if we get our fair share of the profits from lottery and Bolido, we can move millions into financing our health program. We can afford to do this. In fact, I say we cannot afford not to do this.
Reporting for 7 News, Daniel Ortiz.
If you would like to see the full 2-hour presentation, you can find it on the party's official Facebook page. And keeping it on the subject of politics, there is a he said, she said story coming out of the Elections and Boundaries Office for Fort George, Freetown, and Caribbean Shores. Activity at this office is feverish right now because it's the end of the last registration period before the general election. Tensions and tempers often run high between political operatives for the two mass parties. And yesterday, one PUP Fort George operative claims that a driver for UDP Caribbean Shores pulled a gun on her. That's after she said he should be quarantined because his boss, the UDP standard bearer for Caribbean Shore, Lee Mark Chang, has COVID-19. Here are both sides of that story.
I will ask him and if he please move against the vehicle. Because as far as I know, no business under quarantine, no business out here. He said that people like Uno got their shit, they go about. I tell her no people like we, that the media bring it out, that your boss tested positive for COVID-19. He said, I'm not into no talking with you, I don't know what to do with you. When I look, it's spin, gone down in the right side with the right hand and haul out a gun. And holla, must just make her continue talk. So I tell her, I'm not into go through this. I say, you need a gun for me, with our woman. I say, I don't want a woman to you. You don't need no gun for me. He say, anyways, I done it you. Stop back your gun, gone in a vehicle or gone.
By coming outside of election and boundaries, it's about 100 yards from the gate. I was approached by a young lady that's sitting down stating, said, get away from her, I have corona. So I turned around and I distinctly tell her, excuse me miss, you don't know me and I don't know you, but I don't have corona. She said, get far away, you have corona. I said, miss, I see people like you, they discriminate people in our own country, make our country look bad. So he said, move around for the vehicle because they understand me. So I have my phone in my hand, I take my phone and shove it in my pocket and say, you know what, I will not lower it myself to this. So I proceed, turn around, jump back in the truck for about 10-15 minutes, went to Lychee, ordered some food for the people that I bring to election and boundaries, and I proceeded back to election and boundaries and drop off the food. If I had a gun pan, you call police right away and make police come on the scene. About 100 yards away, they have 2 police officers on the compound. A police cycle parked right behind a vehicle. And why didn't they never run to the police officer and say, this man just pulled out a gun, stop me on the scene, rub me down and find me this gun. I want a gun. I want one gun.
I filed my report, everything. Last night they let go the young man. This morning, that young man, that same said young man, passed me this morning, the smile in my face like that was a joke.
And about 4 o'clock, a police officer come and knock against the side of this vehicle. He said, Mr. Bradley? I said, oh yes, yes, that is me. So the man said, we come to take you in because someone said you had a firearm on them. So I left shocked. And I said, no problem, officer. I comply 110%. The officer said, can I rub you down? I said, yes, sir, do your job. So when I get in the police mobile, I see the same young lady that I have the incident with sit down inside of the vehicle. Then the officer said, this is the same young lady that say you pull out a firearm on her. I said, well, it's strange. When you pull out a firearm in a busy street, because the election at Bungee is so busy, and nobody's and people run and scream and say, this guy have a gun in his hand.
That like the whole situation, they take for just what game or what toy. Or my life, that not a game, that not a toy. So I know what make it get twisted. Either the police, they do their part, or else I will have to intervene and do my part.
Both parties were detained and interviewed, and police decided not to press charges. The National Celebrations Commission has selected the winning theme for the 2020 September celebrations. Although the COVID-19 pandemic has forced all of us to adapt to social distancing and only leaving our homes when it is absolutely necessary, there will still be a scaled-down observance of the 222nd anniversary of the Battle of St. George's Caye and the 39th anniversary of Belize's independence. This year's September celebrations will be commemorated under the theme, Over Adversity, Creating Opportunity, Belizeans Unite for Prosperity. It was submitted by Precious Martinez, a 13-year-old student from Sacred Heart College in San Ignacio Town. The National Celebrations Commission normally hosts a ceremony to recognize the winner, but due to the pandemic, they had to inform Precious Martinez that she won the competition via a teleconference, video call and interview. This afternoon, NIT's president Sapna Budrani hosted the teleconference event and invited the press to meet the winner. Here's what one of the judges had to say about why they chose her entry as this year's theme.
This year, we set a record-breaking participation in which we had about 312 submissions from 131 persons. And as compared to other years when we just had, last year we only had 86 participants with 237 submissions. And in 2018, we had only 70 participants with 196 submissions. So as you can see, it has been increasing. More Belizeans are participating. This year's competition was pretty tough for the committee. And we have the committee goes through a process of elimination, and we end up with about 10 teams. Then from there we end up with about 3 or 4, and then we make a decision. This year's theme that the committee selected was overcoming adversity, creating opportunity, Belizeans unite for prosperity. We believe that this was the most relevant theme to what we are going through right now. It's an honor to say that the winner for this year was a 13-year-old second farmer from the Sacred Heart College of San Ignacio. And she's a resident of that town, San Ignacio, Santa Elena. And her name is Precious Martinez. If a 13-year-old can come up with these words, we adults should take it as an example. And with the experience we have, we should try to live up to this theme.
I got the idea that overcoming adversities would probably mean like thinking about Belize during these challenging times and how that we could
turn these adversities into opportunities so that we can prosper and eventually, like as a nation, bloom. An example would be like COVID-19. COVID-19 can be addressed more quickly if everyone would follow the safety measures and follow proper protocols without complaining.
Precious Martinez was one of 131 participants who entered the competition this year. She's also the youngest winner on record at this time. She will be awarded a $500 cash prize. Yesterday, Police Commissioner Chester Williams went to Guinea Grass to deliver a donation of groceries to the residents of that lockdown community. And today, he went to visit his officers who are attached to the Kikaka Police Station. He was accompanied by ACP Dr. Richard Rosado, the New Eastern Regional Commander. The Compal provided them with a meal and a beverage for lunch as a show of appreciation. Now, there's also a new officer in charge of the Kikaka Police Station, Superintendent Francisco Ak. At this very moment, a Burt Air ambulance from San Pedro is traveling to the city. Reports tell us that it's transporting an elderly man suffering from respiratory complications who is bound for the KHMH. This is the ambulance's second trip, as earlier this evening it provided transfer for an elderly woman in an effort to secure treatment that's unavailable on the island. Both patients have been swabbed for COVID-19. And that's all we have for you for tonight. Thanks for watching. With your news, I am Indira Craig. Remember that you can see a streaming video of this newscast at 7newsbelize.com, brought to you by Digi for the best postpaid plans in the country. Remember that the curfew starts at 9 countrywide tonight, so please make sure to stay inside. And remember to wash your hands, wear your mask at all times in public, properly of course, and keep your social distancing. Make sure to join me back here tomorrow at 6. And until then, have a great night.